Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be continuing reading throughout the Action Bible here. In another part, this is called Insults of the Prophecies. Now this is going to be based on 2 Kings, chapter 18, 17 through chapter 19 of verse 37. This is also going to be on 2 Chronicles, chapter 32, Isaiah, chapter 9 and verse 6, as well as chapter 36, as well as chapter 52, verse 13 through 53, chapter 53 verse 12, and the book of Nahum. All right, so let's get into this. Eventually, that day, the day that Hezekiah has been preparing for comes. So they send the Syrians' army against Jerusalem. But instead of making an armed attack on the city, the Assyrian king sends a task force to try to frighten the people of Jerusalem into surrendering. They yell out, "We have conquered other cities, and their gods didn't save them. What makes you think your God can save you?" So they're trying to threaten them, they're trying to scare them. But Hezekiah commanders tried to have a diplomatic negotiation with a Assyrian field commander. And they shout out back, "Please, I can understand your language. Don't say such things in Hebrew where our soldiers can hear. But we want your men to hear, and we want them to understand us. Then we will tell them. When we're finished with you, you'll be eating your own feces and drinking your own urine." So they're really threatening them, though, really trying to scare them. But these people must not forget, who God is. There is no other God but Jesus Christ. There is no other, all them other gods that they're talking about are all false, are all fake. All the Greek gods, all that stuff. There's only one God, and that is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The one that created the heavens and the earth. And all things are possible, through Christ who strengthens me. That is a great verse, a powerful verse, and it means something as long as you got good faith. You cannot, the moment you start to doubt God, you become scared. That's why it says, "Fear nothing but me." And, you only should fear God, and don't doubt him. Even when it may seem, things are getting a little hard or a little rough, it may seem like you need to doubt him, but you don't. Don't ever doubt God. Don't ever be afraid of anything, because, again, with him, all things are possible. And, this arming, means nothing. We've seen it before. We've seen God beat, take a handful of men and beat an army of thousands. But back to the story. This says, after a while, this kind of attack begins to have an effect. How do we know God will save us? See, this is where the doubting comes in. Rather than just trusting God, having the faith, it's something we all, take part in, of doubting God. We let the devil get to us. Other cities have fallen, and remember, the Assyrians already conquered Israel. The Lord didn't save them. And, that was an act of punishment, for turning away from God. When news of the people's fear reaches King Hezekiah, he tears his clothes in anguish. In dire circumstances like these, only God can save us. Send for Isaiah. Ask him if God has any comfort. Isaiah brings an encouraging word from the Lord. Do not listen to the insults of the arrogant king. The Lord will defend his city, the city of his servant David. Have faith. God will not desert us. That night, the Lord sends an angel who annihilates the Assyrian armies. Now, he didn't say angels, he said one angel. Now, imagine being the Assyrian army, though. Here you are, you're camped out, you're waiting, basically to, wipe this city out, and an angel, like a glowing, strong figure, appears, and obviously this will kind of give you an image of what we're looking at here. Like, that there would have probably put fear in them. They would have most likely been terrified. He went through and wiped out the entire army, and that's what God's saying. God will always take care of you. Once he makes a promise, he delivers. As long as we stay faithful, as long as we stay true, and don't doubt him. No matter how bad things may seem, and no matter how scared you are, Don't doubt God. The next morning, when they see that the enemy soldiers are all dead, the people of Jerusalem go wild with joy. Isaiah said God was on our side, and God doesn't abandon people who trust in him. Never again while Hezekiah is king do the Assyrians try to take Jerusalem. Hezekiah leads his people into worship of the true God, and for years they are happy and at peace. But meanwhile, the enemy retreats back to Nineveh in disgrace. There, his own son assassinates him. Over a century before, all of Nineveh had repented when the prophet Jonah brought them God's warning. Now they seek world domination through war and cruelty. So the prophet Nahum share one final warning. Their evil ways will eventually catch up with him, and they will be destroyed. The Lord protects those who trust in him, but he will drown Nineveh in its own arrogance. Under Hezekiah's reign, Judah trusts in the Lord, but when Hezekiah eventually dies, his son leads Judah into idolatry.